Hi, everyone.
What's going on? What's going on?
I love the positivity of this song. That's what I like most about this song. The world is a ghetto, but he wants a high yellow and 6-inch stilettos. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
What's a high yellow? It's a skin color, right?
Thought he was talking about red bones when he was talking about that.
Red bones.
Yeah. So gotta have that certain skin tone.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Comicsgate Live. Is this Comicsgate Live or not? What is this?
I'm just here on Comics Artist Pro Secrets.
That's all it is. I'm here today celebrating Rose Tico, as usual. I am militantly, in support of Rose Tico. And if you're not, I mean, F you. I'm sending my troops in to take you out.
I hear you have that kind of power.
Well, it's been alleged. Yeah, it's been alleged that I have a Russian troll army bot empire that can crush even the strongest Darth Vader writer.
Darth Vader. Well, you got to bring it back to Star Wars. I understand that.
I don't care how powerful of a Darth Vader writer you are. I've got the Russian bots to take you out. And what other trolls? What other things do I have? I don't know. I got stuff. Listen. I've got enough weirdos to make even. Hold on a second. I'm going to show you this. This is ridiculous. Yeah. Where did it go? Screen Rant, don't let me down again. Oh, here it is. Okay, good. There's a writer at Screen Rant called Andrew Dice, and I want to show you what you're missing because of me and what I did. Okay, by getting Chuck Wendig fired. All right, this is what you're missing, and some of you are going to be angry when you see this. Some of you are going to be very disappointed in me. But too bad. It's just the way it goes. Yeah. Rizzy Toxic Fan Lee, thanks for $2. Rose for life. Hell yeah. Of course. You can't, I don't care. I will always love Rose Tico. This is what Chuck Wendig was going to do. And I don't know how I feel about this. This is very Dracula. This is very interesting. Darth Vader built his castle to resurrect Padme. That's why he has this castle here. This was going to be the story. This was going to be the story that Chuck Wendig was going to pick up on. Charles Soule, I think, wrote it instead. Look at this, Andrew Dice. Andrew Dice. Sounds familiar.
Dickory Dock.
Remember those poems?
I used to sneak up late at night when they show them on HBO and watch.
You weren't allowed to listen to that. I mean, that was I was in like 7th or 8th grade when that stuff came out. Oh man, that was racy. Hickory Dickory Dock.
Yeah.
And we can't go from there. I mean, that's just not, it's
Little
not right.
Boy Blue.
I gotta get a big leather jacket like that. I swear to God, I gotta get a big Michael Jackson jacket like Andrew Dice Clay used to wear. It's a big Michael Jackson jacket. It was something else. It was impressive. Darth Vader, he built his castle to resurrect Padme. The true purpose of Darth Vader's castle has finally been revealed, with the villain's own comic confirming it was built to resurrect Padme Amidala. Now it's time to repurpose it and perhaps resurrect Chuck Wendig's career. Darth Vader, can you do that? Chuck Soule, can you make this castle able to resurrect Chuck Wendig's career? by not having him act like an a-hole on Twitter. That'd be nice. And to build it, Vader called on a dark side architect newly added to the Star Wars canon. If the idea that Darth Vader would act out of love for his lost wife seems at odds with his evil Sith exterior, hey, even evil people love their wives, right? Or
This
wrong?
is true.
Can you think of an evil person who doesn't love his wife? And don't even say Trump, because he does love his wife, and he's not evil. He's the opposite of evil.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go there. That's what the bots say.
Right. Hitler never married. Oh, yes, he did. He did. He did marry Eva Braun.
They said right there at the end there, right in the bunker, and then all that. So
yeah. I don't think that's an act of love. I don't think it is. Mass suicide. I'll marry you, and then we're going to kill ourselves. I don't think that was necessarily a loving thing. So no, Darth Vader would act out of love for his lost wife. Okay, the comic book series exploring his origins is going to be mind blowing. Not the origins of Anakin Skywalker. The Star Wars prequels covered that. We're referring to the origins of Darth Vader in his first days, months, and years serving at the right hand of Emperor Palpatine. The right hand of Emperor Palpatine. Is there a masturbation joke you would like to make? Or
no.
Thank God. Thank God. And the Sith Master didn't just know about Vader's longing to revive Padme, but gave his apprentice the tools to do so. So here's the artwork. This is shit. Anyway, since the first issues of Charles Soule and Giuseppe Camicola's Darth Vader comic, there's been no mistaking just how much more complicated a figure Anakin Skywalker was in his first years beneath the cloak and cowl of Darth Vader. That previous untold story explaining how Darth Vader got his red lightsaber and how many Jedi survivors he slayed after Episode 3 has proven to be worthy of its very own film. But the biggest twist came with his new choice of a new home planet. Throughout the first dozen issues, it seemed even more of Anakin Skywalker was alive in Darth Vader than Palpatine realized. The light side of the Force constantly pulled to him, even showing him a possible future in which he turned against his master and slew the Emperor before he could give rise to the Empire. But as it turns out, Palpatine is completely aware of Vader's intentions with his castle, even before the reader. Spoiler alert, okay? It's easy to forget that it was the promise of mastering life and death and protecting his beloved Padme that convinced Anakin to become the Sith Lord's apprentice. And Palpatine isn't the one who easily forgets so clear a pressure point. So when Vader requests that the planet Mustafar be given to him as his own homeworld to rule, Palpatine knows there's more than Anakin's defeat at Obi-Wan Kenobi's hands or the true birthplace of Vader at work. And to help him bring back his dear Padme, Palpatine gives Vader a more powerful ally than he realizes. And there he is. There's his more powerful ally, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, this is, I think, wow. This is a 2-page story. I'm not going to read any more of this. But this is I think, what Chuck Wendig was going to write. And the book is canceled now. They were quick to brag that after Chuck Wendig was fired off of issues 4 and 5, Marvel Comics canceled the series.
Oh, so they're not even going to put it out.
No. I figured that, I guess they think it would be too controversial to put it out.
That's the thing. I saw some of the people that were coming to Chuck's defense say, if you take this job, you should be treated as a scab and all this. And I was like, I'm treating it as a paycheck if I took the job.
Yeah. The audacity of those people. But yeah, I mean, it is, look, at that point, like when I say that NPCs and SJWs should never be hired ever, it's because of things like that. It's because, it's like if they do kind of unionize, they can behave however they want. They can behave like a mob. Somebody pointed out that NPC, if you move the letters backwards one, so N becomes M, P becomes O, and C becomes B, it spells mob. And that's what they are. They are the mob. So they will kind of unionize and hire each other and basically make business impossible. They can act however they want. They can be abusive and cruel. They can do whatever they want to do. And if you fire them, then they will kind of form a sort of mini strike within your company. So don't hire these people. I mean, this is the thing. Comicsgate is just going to do its own thing. We're not going to, we're not worried about it. We're not trying to fix things. If you continue to hire these people and you continue to put yourselves in this kind of a position where simply by firing one of your writers who was acting up, they threaten to, I don't know, torture, blacklist, abuse whoever it is that comes in to finish the job of your profitable comic book series. And by the way, Star Wars is very good for Marvel. It actually does make money for them.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so them canceling 2 issues of Star Wars, that's money that they're, and for what? To appease weirdos, to appease SJWs and nonsense. Margaret Miracle says, "We know their shenanigans, Ethan." I know you know that. Dr. Fantastic says, "When did we decide that? When did we decide what? That we weren't going to try to fix the mainstream?" No, you guys are invited to. I just don't think that's what Comicsgate is meant to do. We're just an alternative. We've decided to do our own thing.
Thanks.
Yeah. I don't think it's, why would we help them? I'll throw them a cinder block if they're drowning. I mean, we're competing with them. And we're going to do better. We're going to do better. Can you foresee a day 8 years from now, Antonio, where Comicsgate has survived, it's flourished, it's become profitable, and we could actually afford the Star Wars license?
Ooh. Oh, wow. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't see why that couldn't be. When we first started talking, me and Mike Miller, Mike wanted to do. We were scheming to buy GI Joe, because this was right after. This is true. You guys don't know this. We've never done this. We've never talked about this stuff. But when we were planning on doing this, this was way back. This was a year ago. Okay, this was a year ago. We were planning on getting together and doing something. What do we do? Do we make a company? Do we unionize ourselves? Like, what's the plan, Stan? I don't know. Diversity in Comics was looking at what was going on with Aubrey Sitterson, IDW's dissatisfaction with the way, Hasbro's dissatisfaction with the way IDW was conducting themselves using their IPs. And we'd heard rumors through the grapevine that they, those were going to come up for renewal. So we all got together and compared bank accounts and thought about, why wouldn't we make a play for the GI Joe license and do a GI Joe comic that's all American? And that was the initial movement that started what is now Comicsgate, the comic book producing part of Comicsgate. We were going to make a play for GI Joe, and I mean, I think we had enough money to do it. And if we didn't have enough money to do it, we figured that could be the first crowdfunding effort that we would mount. To buy GI Joe, that would be our first flag planted on the moon. It would be like, look, you're not getting GI Joe. It's like, you're not going to turn GI Joe into some weirdo social justice warrior piece of garbage. It's GI Joe. We need to protect it.
There was so much cool stuff on GI Joe when I was a kid. I enjoyed those cartoons and Larry Hama's run on the comic book. Yeah, that stuff sparked my imagination. So yeah, it would have been. I'd love to do something with that property.
A lot of people would. I mean, I'm not particularly a GI Joe fan myself. I was a Transformers fan, which puts me at odds with Zach big time.
Oh, Transformers! Oh, love it.
He hated the Transformers.
Oh.
He's like, I didn't get it. I was like, I think kind of like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, like Quentin Tarantino said, you're one or the other. Or no, you're a Beatles or an Elvis guy, which is weird because I'm both of them. But I think in my old age, I'm becoming more Elvis, I guess. But no, in terms of Beatles or Stones, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer they both came out around the same time. Do you prefer the Transformers or G.I. Joe? And that says a lot about who you are, I guess.
If I had to pick one, it would be it would probably be Transformers, but G.I. Joe's close second for me.
Thundercats and He-Man are over there somewhere.
Thundercats, He-Man, love Silverhawks. All that, man.
Silverhawks. Silverhawks never took off though, did they?
Not like Thundercats, but yeah, I had some of the toys though, partly metal, partly real.
Yeah. Yeah, Ray Venkman says Zach seems to just easily write off Transformers after that awful Lost Light issue. No, I never read any. Well, I did. I read the '80s comics of Transformers. I remember there was a GI Joe Transformers crossover that Marvel Comics did, and there might have been. I seem to remember Spider-Man too being in
Spider-Man showed up in
Transformers.
an issue. Yeah, he was in the black suit. I was a little kid. Dude snuck it into our classroom when I was a kid. I was like in the third grade. And he brought the Transformers comic book in there with Spider-Man on it. We were like slipping it under the table and looking at it and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought Transformers were super imaginative. GI Joe was too, but it wasn't. The idea of robots hiding as vehicles really appealed to me as a kid. I thought they were so cool. They had great names, unlike the GoBots. The GoBots names sucked.
Oh,
But Transformers were like, my name's Wheeljack. My name's Jazz. I'm Optimus Prime. I'm a Mega Supreme. Those were badass names. I mean, they were just really, really cool. I liked them. I preferred Transformers, but I don't want to. I don't want to ever draw the Transformers, especially not now. Not the movie version.
oh yeah. The movie version kind of switched it up a bit, but they could. I don't have a problem with them switching it up, but they could have stuck to some of the cooler stuff, like the combiners. Like they tried to do that in the second movie where they were doing like Devastator a little bit, and I didn't like the way they did it. If they had done it a little closer to the way it was in the cartoon, where it's like five and then they just all transform into the mega robot, I would have been down with that. But they just kind of like did this like weird nanite merge thing. I didn't like the way they did it. So.
The combiners were the best. Hey,
Yeah.
welcome, Critias. He
Hi,
just showed up.
Hi, Antonio.
What's going
Good
on?
to
What's
see
going
you.
on?
Yeah, the combiners were the best, man. I love Devastator and Superion. I loved all that stuff, man.
Yes.
God, that was cool.
Bruticus.
What else? What other ones am I not thinking of?
Wasn't like Hot Shot one of them?
Well, Hot Shot might have been
like he was one of the aerial bots, but I'm trying. What they became? What was it? Superion.
Superion was bad. What a great name, I'm Superion. Oh God, that's cool. Yeah, I love the Transformers. I don't, like I said, I don't want to draw them. I don't even think I want to own them. You know, like I don't want to. The idea of buying licenses of things. I don't think I want the Transformers license either. Dark Zayd, thanks for $2. Beast Wars for the win. Yeah, Beast Wars was okay, but here's the thing about Beast Wars that didn't make any sense. The idea of Transformers was that, hey, you can't tell us from regular vehicles. So you kind of lose it a little bit, like when it's like, oh, you become a robot animal, a robot dinosaur, and then a robot human shaped thing. That doesn't make any sense. It's robots in disguise. So that car that's sitting there on the side of the road, that could be a robot, an alien robot.
Yeah.
But I dug the Predacons though. I love the Predacons were so fierce, and then they combined into Predaking, and it was just whoa, man. You know, a lion, and it was like a panther and some kind of hawk or something. Yeah, that stuff was cool, man. I loved it.
That's good. So if we were gonna buy, so I did make a play, by the way. I did try to buy one license in February, as everybody knows. I was going to buy Rainbow Bright.
But obviously it didn't work.
Didn't work out because Nick Barucci over at Dynamite Comics bought it on the very same day that I asked for it. You know, I wrote to them at Hallmark. I sent them an email, said, "Who has this license right now?" And they said, "You know, we're currently in negotiations. We're finishing negotiations today. I should be able to tell you, actually, like who has it." And then he came back and said, "You know, Dynamite Comics." I was like, "Jesus God." Well, I know Nick Barucci, so I mean that's good. But man, I would have loved. I would have been like, that would have been the thing I would have done, because I would have done Rainbow Brute, you know, through Rainbow Bright and made it legit. I would have made it legit. Yeah. I would have made it part of canon. Brappy Hour, thanks for $1.99. Cyberfrog versus Cybertron, LOL. Yeah. He'd win. Cyberfrog would win.
against
Maybe
all of
a
them.
whole planet.
So you like Todd McFarlane? He just makes up a power and it just kills
Yeah,
everybody.
I'd make it work. I'd be like, Cyberfrog suddenly has planet destroying power.
Yeah. Obliteration would be the move.
What other properties would we like? Zach was fully into this. Zach's whole thing was, well, the way to make this work is we have to buy IPs, and I was like,
Right.
I don't think that's the way to do it, honestly. Because if you look at, other than Star Wars, what other IPs are people doing comics of that are really like making money? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not, like people who are saying, "Hey, I'm going to do the like you said, Silverhawks. Could we make Silverhawks actually sell? I don't think
Oh,
so."
yeah, I definitely think so. It was cool enough where with the right people behind it, it would pop off, and you could sell toys and stuff. Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. There's no way. What are you kidding me? Like you think we'd be able to sell like 10,000 copies of Silverhawks?
I guarantee it. I was like, the way that they could just they touch their face and put the bird mask on, and the metal. I was like, that was just too much. I love that. It was just so cool for me. I was like, I loved it.
I disagree. I just don't think so. I don't think there's anything out there that would sell right now.
And it's right there in your element too, because they're in space. So you'd be able to do a lot of that same kind of Green Lantern stuff where you're drawing a lot of like outer space, weird battles and stuff. So it was like, yeah, you could make that pop off, man.
They're saying Casper the Friendly Ghost in the chat.
No. I had to change Casper.
Wasn't there like an '80s cartoon with like these animal type robots? I'm not talking about Voltron's another one. Oh man, I forgot the name of it. I used to see as a kid. I think that one could probably be done. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can Google it.
Because I know like
Animal
Mask.
robots.
Yeah,
Mask.
Mask was one of my favorites, and they keep saying they're gonna make a movie. I hope they are. It's like I would love to see Mask come back and be done right. That's one of the reasons that David has Penance is because of Mask. Mask was one of my favorites. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Darth Hamer says, "Why is Salamandroid so much bigger than Cyberfrog, Uncle A?" I don't know. There's no reason. It just is.
There's no reason.
Why are you so much bigger than your sister or your brother? I don't know. Just it's genetics,
Yeah.
It just happened.
Sold.
I don't have a reason. Yeah, I don't know. What would I do if I could have any property? Again, I disagree with Zach. I think the key thing is what we're doing now. I think creating our own properties, our own IPs, is the key to success long term. Chasing the rent. If we bought our own, like other people's IPs, we would be chasing the rent all the time. It's like, well, you have to make. The way it works is they'll say, well, how much do you think you're going to make? Let's say we're going to make $100,000 a year, on these Twilight Zone comic books. Well, you have to pay them $10,000 a year. Then that's the agreement. They want 10%. So you'd have to be chasing that $10,000 every, and that's a low number, but you'd have to be chasing that $10,000 every year in terms of profits. After after you've paid your talent and everything, you would still owe them $10,000 a year. And I don't know. I don't know if that's the situation I want to find myself in.
What about Jim and the Holograms?
Jim and the Homophobes. I'm doing it.
Yeah, I know you're doing that, but I always thought Jim, the way it was set up, they could have really brought that back and made it cooler. Because I mean, she can cast those holograms and do, they've got cool music and stuff like that. They could really do like a weird Veronica Mars type slant with Jim and make it like more modern, obviously, and it would be cool. I think if they did it right.
Well, when I don't know, there were a few years ago, maybe a decade ago, there was an 80s revival craze going on, and everybody was talking about bringing back 80s books. Like Pat Lee was doing Transformers, everything was working out. Michael Turner was still alive, and wow. Michael Turner had, his company, and I said, yeah, Aspen. And I said to Michael Turner, why don't you get Gem and the Holograms? That was one of the few conversations I had with Michael Turner. I wasn't
You
really a
actually
good
knew
friend
him.
of his.
Oh, okay, that's why I was like, yeah, you know
Yeah.
it.
We were friendly acquaintances. I didn't know him. Like a lot of people were good friends with him, and he was a gambler. I think if you played poker, you knew Michael Turner pretty well. He loved to play poker, and he
Oh
was a
wow.
big time gambler. You know, because he had a lot of money, so he would come down. He was like a whale at the poker table. Played all night. So Michael Turner, I told him, I said, you should definitely get Gem and the Holograms, and he went, I don't know.
You do it right. I think that's $1 billion franchise.
For him, yeah, drawing hot chicks, yeah.
Yeah, he
He
could have
could have
made
fixed
that
it
pop
up.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think what I would want, honestly, I'm looking at a poster on the wall over like that you can't see. It's on the other side of the wall. Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Now, I would license Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds and then just do an ongoing Walking Dead style, like what happened after the movie. So the birds have taken over. All right. So now living
Oh,
life
wow.
with the birds would be
Okay.
good. We could do that, you know, that because the movie ends like right. I don't know if we would pick up with those same characters. Maybe we would. Maybe it would be Tippi Hedren and you know, what's his name? Rod Taylor. Oh, Rod Taylor. We lost him recently. Custom Songmaker. Thanks for $5. Making a Murderer season 2 is out now, and more proof that Stephen Avery is not guilty. Imagine a comic book that freed an innocent man from prison. I got bad news for you. Stephen Avery's guilty as hell. I mean, come on now. He's guilty as hell. I had a big fight with Gail Simone about this.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. Have you seen it? Did you guys watch Making a Murderer 1?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I didn't get through it. I tried to watch it. Yeah, it wasn't for me.
I watched the whole thing. I found it very compelling. They have these documentaries. The same thing with the West Memphis 3. You know, you
watch those. What's that? Paradise Lost or whatever.
Yeah. Those kids are guilty too. But I mean, you go through it, and it's like you make these documentaries that are really like manipulative and make people think that you know they leave out some evidence, accentuate other evidence. They rely on the kind of charm or sympathy of the killer. It really is sociopathic. I mean, that guy is guilty. I'm sorry. Let me just run through the evidence that they don't talk about in the movie. It's like he had her burned up cell phone in a fire pit. You know, it's like the bullet that killed her was lodged in his trailer. You know, all of these things. And there were a lot. I haven't seen it in a little while, but I read through the evidence after I saw it, and I went, yeah, they left out an awful lot of information in this, and they just show you this kid. Now, did they, you know, did they lean on a special needs kind of learning disabled guy and make him say some things that maybe weren't true? Yeah, probably. But at the end of the day, the only question is, did Stephen Avery kill this woman who he stalked? You know, he actually stalked her. He called her up on her phone. He invited her to come over once, answered the door to look at some cars. She came over to his trailer. He answered the door naked.
Wow.
He was stalking his victim. So it's like, well, by some magical coincidence, like somehow, you know, she happened to be killed. And a lot of evidence points to the guy who was stalking her, who had her cell phone in a pit, but it must have been someone else. It's a coincidence. It's just a whole lot of coincidences, Antonio. It's all a lot of coincidences.
It's a lot of coincidences.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of coincidences. Rizzy Toxic Fan Lead. Does anyone know why Darkhawk looks like Silverhawks? I don't know.
It does, but it's not as cool. And I actually have his first appearance. Yeah, it's definitely not as cool. It looks like they kind of ripped it off a little bit.
So, those of you who are watching the, you know, Making a Murderer, I'll watch season 2. It'll be more bullshit. I mean, it will be more manipulative. You know, it's obvious the guy who's making these documentaries is an advocate, you know, for this case for some reason. I'm not sure why. But I mean, I invite you to actually look up, just Google Stephen Avery is guilty. Just Google that. And then you'll come up with like the counter argument, and then read that counter argument and see where you line up. You know, Brian Brown says, I agree with you about Stephen Avery. I think he's guilty as hell. In fairness, who hasn't tried answering the door naked trick? Well, he is a nudist. Remember, a slimy nudist. That's our new thing, Antonio and Critias. Instead of calling people names, like, you just call them a nudist. In the 1800s, being a nudist was like, you would accuse your political opponent of being a nudist. He's a horse thief and a nudist. Start calling people horse thieves and nudists. Let's bring all that back.
He's naked with the horse.
Oh, even worse. Even worse. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Bjorn Kuma 8877 says, I seriously talked to him 2 weeks before the story broke, looking for a MAF sensor for my old Toyota. Oh, how about that? So you actually spoke to that guy. Yeah. Slimy nudists are the worst. They are. A horse thief and a nudist. Answering naked is a good way to get rid of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Definitely agree.
There was this learning disabled kid in my high school, and he had the best joke ever, and he used to laugh so hard. And I thinking about like this joke as told by him makes me laugh now, just because of it's so good, but it's just missing a few things, like words that mean things. But he's like, what do you do when a Jehovah's Witness knocks on your door? Well, what do you do, Stephen? He'd say, first you witness them, then you Jehovah them out the door. And for some reason, that just in Jersey speak, that just cracked me up. You Jehovah them out the door. And he would laugh so hard, and because he was laughing, I would laugh too. Yeah. You guys are not laughing. You don't think Jehovah. you don't think that joke follows.
I was just trying to put the pieces together in my head.
First you witness them, then you Jehovah them out the door. Not nice. You don't Jehovah people out the door, whatever that is. Halloween slaughters the box office with a huge $77.5 million debut. Have you guys seen this movie yet?
No, I know John went last night. John Malin went last night. I went to see Venom. So,
you did see it, or you're going to?
I'm gonna see Halloween, but I went to see Venom yesterday.
Yeah. Halloween slaughters. I don't want to see Venom. I don't want to see it. I just don't.
It was not what it was like. I see why the reviews are mixed. I see some people like, oh, this is the greatest thing. And I was like, it was missing Spider-Man for me. I would have liked to see Spider-Man, but it had some other things that I thought were cool. So definitely not a thumbs down, but yeah, it's not, yeah.
People in the chat, by the way, are saying, keep saying that punchline. It'll get funnier. Red Soap says, Jehovah's Witnesses are very nice people. They are nice people. It has nothing to do with them not being nice people at all. It's the same thing that Mormons have going on. They knock on your door. You don't want people knock. These days, if people knock on your door, in the days of social media, people knocking on your door or ringing your telephone is highly disturbing, isn't it? Or is it not? When my phone rings, I'm like, what? What do you want? Why didn't you email me? It's like.
But see, that's the thing. I lived in the hood, and they would show up in the hood, and I was like, will you see like strange white people standing at the door knocking in the hood? You'd be like,
yeah,
you know how dangerous this is for you to be? I lived in a bad neighborhood. Yeah. And I was like, they would be like, I just want to teach you about the word of Christ. And I'd be like, okay, man. And when they take the hubs off your tires, let me know. They're gonna be robbing your ass up in here, man. It's dangerous.
I see those Mormon missionaries like on their bicycles, with their sleeveless white shirts and ties, and I'm just like, man, yeah, I have the same thoughts. It's like you gotta knock on people's doors.
Yeah.
I mean, they was in some dangerous. Where I lived was dangerous. People's houses was getting brought. People was getting robbed and knocked and shot, and I was like, here they are standing there going, hey. Yeah. You're like, oh man, y'all did. It was hilarious. I was like, y'all don't understand what I understand you believe, but I don't believe that much, because I was like, you literally walked into a war zone.
When people call my house, when people call my house, I just tell them my parents are at home, and I just hang up on them.
Yeah.
Or when they open the door for the Jehovah's Witness, I just tell them, look, I already have a faith, and I just lock the door.
Would you invite them in? Would you invite them in and argue with them?
My wife's done that. My wife's invited Jehovah's Witnesses to the house and go over the Bible with them in arguments.
My dad would do something like that. My dad is like a super Mormon, but I mean, he speaks like, what is it, Hebrew and like Aramaic. I mean, my dad is like, he studies the Bible from all different. So, he would invite these guys in and he would just sit them down and try and like have a discussion with them and an argument with them. And I'm like, I'm not so sure. It's like, that really does test your patience. Like, aren't you really just going door to door and just trying to get people to come to your church? I mean, do you really want to spend your afternoon arguing with my dad, about God? But that's what that's what you've invited, yourself into. I mean, essentially, come on in. No, I've let some Mormon missionaries in. Come on in, guys. You hungry? You want something? They're just 19-year-old kids, that are out there. It's like, come on, you gotta. At this point, like, I feel kind of sorry for them. I think when I was a teenager, they annoyed me. And when I lived in Portland, Oregon for a little while, and was in my own apartment. I was by myself, and some Mormon missionaries knocked on my door, and I was like, "Come on in." And they just wanted to hang out with me, and I was like, "No, I want to go to church. Like, I want to meet people. So, take me to church. Where is the church?" I had a Donkey Kong arcade, a Frogger arcade, and a Pac-Man arcade in my apartment. They just wanted to play those arcades and raid my fridge.
I would have wanted to play too. That's true. Especially if you got Donkey Kong Jr. I love Donkey Kong Jr.
I didn't have Donkey Kong. I didn't have Donkey Kong Jr. I had the Holy Trinity. My Holy Trinity was those three games: Frogger, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong. That was the Saturday Supercade. And if you had a fourth one, it would be Qbert. But I never liked Qbert that much. I never liked Qbert as much. But those three games are important. People would say Centipede, Space Invaders, but I don't know. I think those are the ones.
What about Joust? Did you ever play Joust?
Oh yeah, many, many times. Joust is phenomenal.
Yeah, I love Joust.
Yeah, but I was like 21. These kids would just come over. They're between the ages of 19 and 21. I'm like, you're supposed to be out there doing work and knocking on doors and bothering people. What are you over here playing, Dig Dog for? and drinking Coke out of my fridge. Anthony Butera says, "Did you play any Mormon video games growing up as a Mormon?" Yeah. That'd be cool. Like, what if we did like Mortal Kombat, but with characters from the Book of Mormon?
Oh wow! Would there still be fatalities?
Yeah, Nephi versus Laman and Lemuel. Finish him and bury those plates in the mountains in New York somewhere for some reason. Golden plates. Yeah, that would be fine. Street Fighter 2 was my jam. Says
oh yeah, Hadouken.
Yeah, I
love that. Yeah, Street Fighter 2 was
games. Yeah. All right. So anyway, I don't know how we got off topic here.
It just happens.
The topic is Halloween slaughters the box office with a huge $77.5 million debut. Is that huge? It's pretty big. It depends on how much they spent. Let's find out. Blumhouse, who, by the way, needs to apologize to Whammon. He needs to apologize to Whammon. This guy knows how to make a movie for $10 and make a $200 million profit, but he doesn't do it using women. Do you understand? Jason Blum doesn't do it using women. So therefore, he needs to apologize and he needs to find women to cut his operation. That's important. It's important. It's fair play, right? Yes.
That ain't fair play. Yes.
Yeah, of course. So Blumhouse's Halloween easily scored the #1 position at this weekend's box office. The impressive opening of $77.5 million domestically is the franchise's best by far, beating Rob Zombie's I liked Rob Zombie's. I know other people didn't.
Opening one, yeah, definitely was good.
Yeah.
The second one was a little bit edgy, but I don't know. It was a little bit crude. But I really liked the first one because I don't know. It just made more sense to me. It was more linear. I don't know if it was a scary.
That's the one where he kills the rat?
I don't remember now. Did he kill a rat? It was 2007, so it was basically you got the origin story of Rob Zombie. Rob was I remember scenes of Rob in his kind of institution Like he was institutionalized. He was sitting in a chair. He was talking to his psychiatrist, and there was supposed to be some kind of communication between the two. And eventually, Mike tried to kill him. I got to watch it again, but I remember watching it and going, that actually made sense. Like none of the other movies ever made any sense to me.
Right.
This one did. It was like it reminded me of working at DC Comics and then trying to take something, one of their characters that wasn't so good and turning it into something that I don't know, had more substance behind it. But people didn't like it. I remember when I said I liked it, everyone else got mad and said it sucked. And I said that the original sucked and everybody got mad again. So I don't know.
Because the one that he did with the show, like Michael, kind of like he looks like he's a disturbed child.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he kills a rat or something like that. And it made sense to me, because they say, usually serial killers, they like to torture and kill animals.
Yeah, that's what I understand. The idea of torturing and killing animals. By the way, NPCs are saying that about me. They're saying first step is cutting up Rose Tico dolls. Second step is torturing animals. Step 3, murdering actual human beings.
There's a flaw in the argument.
What's that?
That you made a superhero that's an animal.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, I like animals. But no, the flaw in the argument is I'm not going to kill any animals. I cut up action figures. Nobody gets hurt when you cut an action figure in half, except for the feelings of an NPC. Custom song maker, $10. The topic is Halloween slaughter, like the girl who was killed on Halloween night and dumped in Stephen Avery's yard by the same sheriffs who are proven to have falsely convicted him before. So you think what? I don't understand. You think the sheriffs? Okay, so all right. So your idea is that the sheriffs ran across this girl who was murdered coincidentally after having been stalked by Stephen Avery. And then what did they do? They found her body, and then these two sheriffs went and burned her body in a pit in Stephen Avery's yard for some reason. And then they coerced Stephen Avery's nephew, was it, or cousin? I think nephew, into a full confession, albeit elaborate and maybe some of it was exaggerated. They planted all this evidence all over his yard. These sheriffs are complete dicks. They're obviously they falsely convicted him. Poor Stephen Avery, what a victim. The entire police department is trying to get rid of him and convict him of a murder of a girl that he just coincidentally was stalking and harassing. Wow, that's unjust and completely realistic. I mean, come on now. At some point, you got to go. Okay, well, I don't. I don't hate the police enough to think they're all psychopaths. It's just, right. It's a little odd. It's a little odd. All right. So, yeah. All right. So, also scoring the second highest R rating debut behind Andre. I mean, am I wrong about that? What do you guys think? Do you? I mean, there are people who have kind of this, who are prone to that kind of conspiratorial thinking. It's like, you're going to be seduced by this idea that this guy has been victimized by a corrupt police department. And I do think that police department, we could do a whole video about this. Custom songmaker, $10. Some of her bones were often found in a quarry. That's a fact. They sent him to prison where he was innocent before. That's a fact. They were about to pay him $400 million, and then they didn't. Well, these are all interesting factoids. I can't explain the quarry thing. Let me look at the new evidence. Let me look at the new video, and we'll see. Stephen Avery's attorney is nuts, somebody says. He's guilty of the murder, but the sheriff's department are a bunch of dicks. That I believe. They absolutely did come over on the rape charge. Yeah, I believe that too. There's no good guys in this situation, but at the end of the day, I mean, you can't. You know what's crazy? I was just talking about the Book of Mormon and Mormons. Look what's on the screen right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
He summoned it.
No, I mean that is spooky right there. They are. I mean, I know I'm speaking right into a microphone onto the internet, but what the hell, dude? That is fast.
I think they're coming back to T-Pack down here. They've been coming the last 2 years and doing the little road show. They've been coming and doing a performance at the Tennessee Performing Arts Center. Normally late October, November. For a couple weeks, and they be doing money. They be doing big business down here. So I'll be tripping out.
Yeah, well, everybody wants to see this show, but this show hasn't been a hot topic. It hasn't been a hot topic for 3 years. This was important 3 years ago, and I was just having a conversation about people ringing doorbells, and then I clicked this link to go to this and look, and then there's an ad for the Book of Mormon with a picture of a doorbell on it.
Google knows. They're following everything you do.
You are not kidding.
They really do, though, because it trips me out. I'll search for something on another site, and then if I go to a site a couple days later and they got Google ads, they start showing stuff that I had searched for a couple days ago. I was like, okay, that's a little scary.
Crazy, yeah. But this was instantaneous. This happened right away. Radical Comics, thanks for $5. The reason the original Halloween works is due to the fact that Myers isn't supposed to feel human. He's the embodiment of evil, a force of nature. Yeah, all of those killers are. Jason is too, I think. What is Jason? Is Jason a force of evil?
Well, they changed Jason because, like, in the first movie is his mom and stuff, and and then obviously, what was it? I don't think he got the hockey mask until the third one. So
yeah.
It was, but when he got that hockey mask, it went to a whole nother level. So
that hockey mask, I like the first one. The first one was just a reversal of Psycho.
Yeah,
the first one was just, it was like instead of a psychopath son pretending to be his mom, it was a psychopath mom pretending to be her son. It's a switcheroo.
Yeah,
it was just, it was a cheapo Psycho kind of ripoff, and it was great. The first one was pretty good. And Kevin Bacon was in it.
Oh yeah, he was, man. That was like, he was in a lot of old movies. Sometimes I'll go back and watch a movie I hadn't seen in like 20-something years. I go, wait a minute.
That's Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
It's like Johnny Depp being in Nightmare on Elm Street 1. It's like there's always a big star in the first one. Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween 1.
Well, I watched what was it, 7? I watched 7 with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and I forgot that Kevin Spacey was the serial killer in that, and I was like, wow.
Yeah,
it blew me away. Yeah, I was like, the 7 is such an incredible film. I was
like, yeah, he killed his wife, right? Is that that?
Yeah, and they put it head in the box. Yeah,
that's crazy.
It was a great movie, though. I loved it.
Yeah, that was an upsetting moment. I didn't want her head to be in that box.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't want it. I was like, no.
Well, I listened to Brad Pitt and what was it, David Fincher. They did the director's commentary. I've got that on DVD, and listen to them. They kind of went back and forth about what the ending was going to be. So it's it was kind of they were kind of going back and forth, and then they just decided it's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's have a it's like, and I mean, wow, it was crazy. So
yeah.
I'm gonna go see this movie today. I'm gonna go see Halloween today.
They were saying in the commercial that the mask was based off of William Shatner's face mask in a costume shop.
It was. They just took a William Shatner mask and spray painted it white.
That's crazy.
And that's a killer. And that's why, when I see Kevin Bacon, or not, when I see William Shatner now, I'm a little bit nervous. A little nervous.
Just shake his hand.
I have, and to no avail. JP4, Wisconsin is full of murderous stories to include Ed Gein. Yeah, Ed Gein is crazy. Is it Gein or Gein? I think it's Gein.
I've heard both.
That guy made furniture out of his mom. I've never done that. I've treated my mom like an appliance. Hey, mom, make me breakfast. But I've never made furniture out of my family. That's very creative. It's Gein, says Margaret Miracle. It's Gein. Ed Gein. Okay. I'd like to see a good movie about him. A good movie about, everything's based on him. But I would like to see a good, everything is kind of an exaggeration of what he did. You know,
Right.
There was a rock band named Ed Gein. It was a rock band. They did like it was like a 3-piece, and they would just go around and just yell into the microphone.
Vasan Kasi says, but Van Sciver furniture, though. That's true. There is Van Sciver furniture, so, but it's not literally made out of my family. You know what I mean? It's made by my family, but not out of my family. Livins Flame says, EVS, have you ever spoken about your love for the Psycho series? Yeah, I have. It's my favorite movie franchise. I'm gonna watch them all again. I love Norman Bates. I love that kid. I own one of the hotel keys, one of the motel keys. And let's see what all. Oh, from Bates Motel, I own the eulogy, the handwritten eulogy that he gave for his mom. I bought that. And I bought the fish sign from the town. I don't know why I bought the fish sign, but I did. I'm gonna hang it up behind me. Like in the town, the Bates Motel is located in. There was a fish market, and I bought the sign for the fish market. It just says fish on it, you know. I'm hang it on my wall and advertise fish. Yeah. But I have all the movies. I have them all. I have them all signed and everything by any living, surviving. There's one person that is still alive from Psycho, who will not sign my DVD, and that is he's a photographer for the New York Times, and he is one of the voices of Mother.
Oh.
He's one of the guys who did that. I mean, there were 3 different mothers, 3 different people did the voices for that movie, and he's one of them. He's the last, other than Vera Miles, he is the last person who was in Psycho, and I can't get him to sign nothing.
Why you don't want to sign it?
He doesn't answer my emails. I've emailed him a couple times and been like, "Would you please? I'll send you money." I mean, what? No, he won't. He won't do it.
Right.
Oh wow!
Pisses me off. I don't know what I have to do. I don't know what I have to do.
You have to know someone that knows him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think about it all the time, though. I really do. Hold on a second. Let me show you. I'll show you guys some Psycho stuff.
All right, let's do it.
I will show you my Psycho collection.
You know, probably I liked from the '90s was King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
Yeah, it was a pretty good. Coming up as a kid, it was pretty good.
What is that?
It was a cartoon.
What happened, sir?
Was that a cartoon or?
Yeah, it was a cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like they had the swords and they will use their weapons to transform into their armor. It was pretty good.
I thought I'd seen that. That's why I was like, I know that sounds familiar. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's public domain, not public domain, but I know they don't. It's been canceled, the trademark and everything is open. I think.
I need to check that out.
All right, this is sad. You're right, Darth Vegas. I think so. This is sad. It is sad. My obsession with Psycho is pathetic. This is young Norman Bates. This is Elliot from E.T. In Psycho 4, Elliot from E.T. played young Norman Bates, so I did get him to sign this. Psycho 3, no, nothing there. Psycho 2. Oh, look, Vera Miles on Psycho 2. Is that good or not good?
Yeah.
I just watched The King of Comedy the other day with Robert De Niro, and they're bragging about the autographs that they have, and I was like, these nerds, that is me. That is me. I am that nerd. Talking about autographs and what I have. Here's Psycho Vera Miles again. What does it say? It says to Ethan fondly Vera Miles. Anyone else? No. Vera Miles again on the Psycho. Yeah, well, look, Vera Miles is the one who took, she's the one who turned the chair around with mother in it and then screamed and hit the light bulb. That's Vera Miles, just in case you don't know who she is. So it's important to get her to sign things. And then Elliot from ET. Look how nice this looks. Young Norman in red,
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm jealous of all your autographs because I've only got a few things autographed.
I was really into it. Here's Janet Leigh. Janet Leigh only lived long enough for the first DVD release of Psycho. So it was really hard to get this. You know, I had to buy this secondhand. I was like, I need a Janet Leigh signed Psycho, you know? And I was like, well, how did you get it? And then on the inside, she also signed the book inside there, which is nice. But they included this. This is where they met her. She did a signing at one point, and I guess they brought it. And I was like, okay, that's good. That's proof. I'll tuck that in. I would have loved to have met her, man. And then these are all this is Bates Motel. This is a great show. Have you watched this? Have you watched any Bates Motel?
I watched them to the last 2 seasons, and then I stopped watching. I need to go back. It's on Netflix. I can catch up the rest of it. But the first 3 seasons, I was digging it. So
I got some Bates Motel signatures, but not enough. I mean, just not enough Bates Motel signatures. And I own some wardrobe from the show too. I've worn it. Like let's see, Norma Bates's brother, you know, who slept with her and all this stuff. He wore a big jacket all the time. I own that jacket and I've worn it. It fits, and it's a 2XL, not a 3XL. It's a 2XL.
So
Lori Petty. It looks good. You know, I think it looks good on me. This is much maligned. Okay, people hate this. They were mad that it happened. But I think I don't know. I think it's good. I think you could actually watch this and enjoy it. You just have to think of it as like, hey, this is Hollywood doing a community theater version of Psycho.
Oh, you know, that's the Vince Vaughn version, right?
Yeah.
I'll pass on that. I watched that with him and Anne Heche. I wouldn't.
You're not gonna watch that?
I've seen it. I watched it. I tried to watch. I was like, people kept telling me it was amazing, and I was like, no, I like the first Psycho. It just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I would dress like Mother. You know, actually, there's somebody in the chat just said, "LOL, Ethan wears Mrs. Bates dressing wig." I would do that for Halloween. That'd be a cool costume.
Yeah, that would actually you would get a pass on that. It was like, oh yeah, he's being Psycho. Okay.
Yeah. More Psycho DVDs. Every time this comes out in a new edition, I do buy it. So I collect every variant copy of Psycho. I don't know why, but this has all the movies on it, signed by E.T., Elliot from E.T., and then here's just Psycho 2, 3, and 4, signed again by E.T. So those are the auto, and I keep those right behind me on that shelf. You know, where you can see Elvis there, all these Elvis DVDs. My Psycho shelf is right down there. As you can see, I've just stripped it of Psycho DVDs.
So when you go to the cons, do you just take a bunch of different things that you want signed when you make an appearance or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. So I was like, I was like, man, you got a lot of stuff signed. You that guy that shows up with 30 things for him to sign. I'd be like,
yeah. You know, over here on the wall, you've got you've got the Psycho 3 and Psycho 2 albums, the soundtrack albums, and they are both signed by Tony Bates.
Oh, wow.
Tony Bates. I'm sorry. What's his name? Anthony Perkins, Norman Bates. Yeah, like because obviously he wasn't really around. I've been looking for a VHS tape signed by him. That would be cool. Like if somebody had the presence of mind to get a Psycho VHS tape signed by Anthony Perkins while he was still alive and wanted to sell it, I would probably drop $1,000 on that if I could find it.
I'm just admiring your collection. Jeez.
That would mean a lot to me. I would be like, damn. Because you could see right back here, you know, here's the VHS of Psycho signed by Janet Leigh.
You got the VHS too? Jeez.
Yeah. You know, because, you know, you have to go back. It's like a lot of these starlets died. A lot of these stars and starlets died, you know, before DVDs came out. And I'm, you know, I'm interested in collecting, you know, signed. It has to be media. I don't like to get signed posters as much. I will if I have to, if that's all there is. But I want signed old media. So records are good, you know, VHS tapes, but especially DVDs and Blu-rays. That's what I like the best. I would love an Ava Gardner, or I would love a Frank Sinatra VHS tape signed. Damn, we would have to spend a lot of money on that.
Huh.
We would. I bought a clown painting for Andrea by Frank Sinatra. You know, in 1957, he was doing these Christmas cards for his friends. He felt morose over losing Ava Gardner, so he painted himself as a clown. And he did these little clown paintings for, you know, all the people who he, you know, worked with or something. And we found one and bought it. And oh my God, dude. It was pricey, but I swear to God, like that is like one of our treasured you know, possessions now.
Right.
Yeah, laser discs, if that's what they have. But VHS tapes are good. From Pi to Eternity. Stop with the pie. Akari Press says, please distract Ethan from autographs. Get back on horror movies or something. I know, I will talk about autographs all day long. You're exactly right. You are totally right. I'm so sorry. That's something I'm very interested in. And we're going to go this weekend, by the way. So don't worry. I mean, those of you who are concerned about not getting enough autograph talk, I'm taking you guys on a field trip to Chiller Theater this Saturday. We're going to do a live stream where we walk around and we will meet, you know, we'll meet people who, yeah, it's going to be fun. Any signed comics? Yes, I have Jerry Lewis signed. Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis?
Really?
Yeah.
I'd be interested in that. What did he sign for you?
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh man.
I love it. I love it. My people.
That's what I'm saying. I've only got a few things autographed. I actually have I have a book, I think it's called War Child. It's signed by Mark Silvestri and Mark Wade.
Wow.
And then I have a pen set from Jeff Smith, the guy that created Bone. It's got his autograph on it. And then I have an art book from J. Scott Campbell that is autographed.
Nice.
I used to have
I like
Todd McFarlane's signature, but
well, that's all easy to get. Like for me, you know, getting comic book professionals to sign things is just like, it's not really anything I'm that interested in. I do have Mark Wade's autograph.
yeah, that's what I was saying. I got it too. That's what I was like. But I loved Mark Wade then. When I had the autograph, when I got the autograph, I was a huge fan. So I was like, oh, okay.
You know what I would like to do with that Mark Wade autograph? I would love to auction it off to help pay for the lawsuit against him.
That would be hilarious.
I will sign it too. It's the autograph. It's an autograph on the comic book that we did together, me and Mark Wade. So I will sign it too. It's me and Mark Wade on our Plastic Man origin story. We will auction it off and give the money to your boy Zach to help pay for the lawsuit. I think that would be fantastic. So thank you, Mark Wade, for all of your help in suing you. All right, let me show you this. Jerry Lewis. Let me see.
Oh, nice. I didn't know he had a comic.
Yeah, he did. He had a big comic book series in the 1950s with Dean Martin. See, it ran for a long time. This is issue 107. I think it ran to issue 130 or something like that. I collect Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin comics. I've been trying to find one that was signed by Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, but I can't. But this one is signed by Jerry Lewis at the bottom. So,
it's actually put out through DC.
Yeah. I mean, DC, you know, this is the thing. In the 1950s, you know, in the 1950s, because of, you know, the, whatchamacallit, the comics, Comics Code Authority. You know, thank you. The Comics Code Authority, because of all of the nonsense with seduction of the innocent, et cetera, everybody had to change the way they were putting out comics. So there were a lot less gory, violent comics, and people started to put out what was safe. And so, you know, DC would sort of license, you know, comedy books like Bob Hope. You know, so there was the Bob Hope comic, and then there was the Martin and Lewis, the Adventures of Martin and Lewis. Those comics are so hard to find right now. They're so hard to find. And I've been searching. I want a complete set. I have Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis #1, and it cost a fortune, and I have never seen another one available.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, you know, that's the thing. I've never seen another one of those. But yeah, so when we talk about Stan Lee and 1961 and what he did with Marvel Comics, it's because it was a reaction to what was going on in the 1950s. Stupid stuff like Adventures of Jerry Lewis was what DC Comics was doing. DC Comics was doing dumb stuff for the most part. It was fun. It was a lot of kind of archy, kind of bland humor. They were trying to stay out of trouble from the Comics Code Authority. They were trying to stay out of the government spotlight. So that's why we got these comics. And then Stan Lee came out and just said, boom, we're gonna do a whole different thing, and it led to the birth of Marvel and the way comics are now. Bagel Goose says autographs are why I don't watch the morning show. Well, listen, for goodness sakes. This is brutal. Is this boring? All right, if it's boring, no more. We won't talk about autographs. My God. Let's get back to Halloween, though, because I'm going to go see this today. Overseas, the horror film brought in an additional $14.3 million. So, look, Halloween actually almost did as well as Stephen King's It, which was, I guess, phenomenal. And Venom, just a few weeks ago, set records for October opening weekend. People want horror stuff right now. That's what it seems like. Hank Solo said, EVS, do you want something in the Hitchcock crane? No, keep that intact. I've had opportunities to get pieces of stuff like that, like the Psycho house. When I went to Universal Studios and got to touch the Psycho house, a piece of the siding had fallen off and it was on the ground. It was just this piece of wood. And I looked at it and it had a nail in it and everything. And I said, I could easily tuck this into my pocket. And instead, I found where it belonged. I patted it right back onto the house. I mean, it was like so much respect. I was like, I'm not taking this thing home at all, even though I would like to. And now, yeah, I do have regrets. I could have had a piece of the Psycho house, and I was too honest to keep it. All right, so overseas, the horror film brought in an additional $14.3 million, making for a grand total of $91.8 million for the weekend. I mean, that's phenomenal. That's Star Wars numbers pretty much. I mean, what did Solo make the first weekend? I think close to that. Blumhouse only spent $10 million to make the film, which pretty much guarantees that a sequel will be made. God, this guy's smart. Following behind Halloween this weekend is A Star is Born and Sony's Venom. The Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga-led movie is continuing to be a box office draw, having earned $126.3 million domestically to date. While Venom took the third position this weekend, the film has been a monster at the box office, having already brought in over 400. It outsold Solo. It kicked Solo. Wow, $461.8 million. Solo stopped at $392 million. Solo, that's a Star Wars movie. Venom, anything Marvel right now, even the junkiest Marvel movie is outselling Star Wars. That is un-effing believable. Unbelievable. So Solo made $392 million. Venom so far, okay, third week? $461.8 million worldwide. Unbelievable. Wow, Goosebumps. There's a little Halloween movie for kids. Goosebumps Haunted Halloween took the fourth spot, $9.7 million. While it's impressive that the sequel stayed at number 4 this week, the movie has made significantly less than its predecessor. So it might be over with. The promotional campaign waited until the very last second to announce Jack Black's involvement in the project, which many believe hurt its chances at the box office. Ryan Gosling's First Man continues to fall. It only made $8.5 million. Maybe that's because of the controversy. This is why people are staying home, right? They wouldn't. There's no American flag on the moon. They skipped that thing.
And we would have made so much money. It just would have just placed that flag.
Yeah, that once that got out there and they started hitting them with it, I was like, I can't believe y'all did that and purposely took that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like when Truth and Justice in the American Way. It's with Superman. Hollywood's got to get over that, and they need to get over their anti-Americanism. Yeah. Hey, just embrace America. I think I can understand that people went through that a little bit, a little kind of embarrassment about being an American during the last decade. It's over now. It was disgraceful then, but at least we were kind of timid about what we were doing, what the country was doing there, in Iraq and everything. There was a little bit of kind of, hey, let's pull back the Americanism a little. That's over with now. And people really should just kind of say, you know what? America did that. The world did not put a man on the moon. Americans did. Our grandparents' tax dollars put an American on the moon.
Right.
I don't think Russia did it. I don't think China did it. I don't think China paid any. I mean, this was our thing. This was our accomplishment. John F. Kennedy said we would do it. Nixon made it happen. Thank you,
And it was a
Nixon.
space race, and they just took it away from the United States.
Yeah. It's extremely offensive. We do need to just stand up and say there's not there's nothing wrong with being an American. Being an American is good. We're good. We're a force for good, and we've done amazing things, and we need to just take credit for them and be proud of what we've done. Who are these people? Who are these people in Hollywood that are just God, it's disgraceful, who are ashamed of being an American?
Mm-hmm.
These same people, I'm going to go off on a fucking tangent here. It drives me nuts. It's one thing to be like me. Now, I'm not going to look at me. I'm not going to become a soldier. I never was. Okay. I was too skinny when I was 19 years old, and asthmatic. And believe me, my time is past now. And I'm not brave enough. I'm not brave enough to get out there and take, gunshots, gunfire. That's not. So God bless anybody who will do that, who will actually go out there and defend their country literally like that. And I don't expect everyone to do it. This isn't Greece. You don't have to join the military. Not everyone's cut out for it. But what I cannot stand is people that won't even defend their country with their words. That is the thing that is the most disgraceful. I'm not going to take gunfire. I'm not going to get out there and be a soldier, but I will defend my country with my words and the things that I say. And I will stand up for this country whenever I can. And that's the least any American can do, to actually take back, your own country's accomplishments, to not be proud of being the fact that our country is that planted its flag on the moon. What are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, stand up for us if you're an American. And Hollywood is American. We should be promoting Americanism. Why aren't we? Because America means different things to different people. You don't have to say, well, America is this. Do you think anything is good about your country? Do you think there's anything that's wonderful about America? What is good about being an American? Whatever that is, that's what the flag represents. Whatever that is to you, that's what the flag represents. Plant that flag on the moon. You disgusting deviants. You weirdos with your weirdo pedophile parties and whatever's going on over there in Hollywood. You disgusting animals. At least stand up for your country. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, I mean, I don't want to hear these people talk about the soldiers on Memorial Day. I don't want to hear them pretend that they're patriotic in any way. I don't want to, about their great sacrifices, the soldiers. You guys are the enemies of those people. You won't even defend your country with your words and your art. You won't even do that. You're artists. I'm an artist. I will stick up for my country. I will be proud of America. You won't be. So don't talk about the soldiers and how great they are. You have no place. You're their enemy.
Right.
I mean, God damn it. It's infuriating. Absolutely infuriating.
Well, the fact that no one used their brain and thought there wouldn't be any backlash.
Right.
Well, they're afraid of backlash from evil people. They're afraid of backlash from people who hate America. That's what they're afraid of. They don't want to hear from, I mean, you're worried about the wrong people. I mean, you're worried about the wrong people if that's the case. And by the way, here it is: get woke, go broke.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
$8.5 million.
Yeah, they're not supporting the movie. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
How many more times? James Dean, creator of Conflict. Thank you for backing Conflict on Indiegogo. Yeah, I mean. Well, that's the thing. Buchananist says they were so stupid they thought there were more people who hated the flag. I mean, how many more times? Like, honestly, how many more times does this need to happen? How many more times do you need to get woke and go broke before this sinks in? You're selling to the wrong people. It's not working. The people that you're selling to don't want to go see a movie. The people that you think you're selling to don't want to go see a movie about Ryan Gosling being the first man on the moon. They don't. Just on a very basic level, even if you hate America, okay, you're doing a movie about the first man on the moon. Who do you think is going to go see that? It's not
Right.
about sex. It's not about horror. It's not about any of these things. You're going to get a very specific group of people who care about American history and who are interested in, NASA and all these things. You're looking for the Fox News crowd. Sorry, that's your audience there.
Yep.
And
They had an opportunity to make a lot of money, and they just flushed it down the toilet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's
I
just
would
investment
definitely go
smart.
see a Neil Armstrong biopic. Man, I
A
would
lot of
definitely
people
go see
would,
it.
yeah.
I had plans to go watch it, but when I heard what happened, I was like, oh, forget it. I lost interest.
Yeah. Over and over and over again, they do this, and we just show them, and they don't understand. They don't know why. They don't understand. They don't know why Trump wins. They don't understand why any of this stuff works out. Yeah, it's because Americans are still there. They still have beating hearts. They still love their country. They still love. They're still proud of our history. I mean, yeah, there's some things that we're willing to look back on and say that was a mistake. You know, but I mean, what's so great about America is that we fix our mistakes. That's what's so awesome. It's like, we ended slavery. Slavery wasn't just an American thing. It was all over the world. I mean, it was just
Right.
everyone had slaves everywhere. And Americans, yeah, we had it too for a little while, but we had a conscience about it and we ended it. Like, this is such a good country with such a good heart, and we see things that are wrong and we fix them about ourselves. We're trying to improve our culture. You've got to get behind us. You've got to get behind your own people and just be proud of the things that we've done. And yeah, that an American flag belongs on the moon. Just for that reason alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Yucky Gum Comic says pie's done. Well, I haven't had any pie. But I am overweight. I did step on the scale and I went, all right, Ethan, seriously. And I'm being careful about what I eat.
Yeah,
I'm ready to get on it.
exercising.
You want to do that, Critias? You want to get on the treadmill?
Yeah, I'm down. I wanna like gain some weight and get some muscle mass. I need it.
Are you skinny?
I'm skinny. I'm 5'11" and I weigh 132, and I checked online. I'm supposed to be weighing like 169, almost 200.
Man, I wish I had your trouble.
If you healthy, I wouldn't even. You know what I'm saying? If you're healthy, I wouldn't even sweat that, man. No.
But it's hard because I'm a featherweight,
Yeah.
If I get to a fight, I'll probably be tossed around pretty easy.
No, if you work your hands right.
Yeah.
Margaret Miracle's like, do a treadmill stream and try to talk. Can you imagine how embarrassing that is? That'd be humiliating.
We should make it like a pact between us three, man. I gain weight, you guys lose weight.
Yeah, you can have all my weight. I think that would put you in the right.
Yeah, I'll take it any day.
So yeah, we need to take over like Nurkish's idea. Instead of doing Cancer Cast, we can do Burger Cast, and then so like we can just do Burger Cast and just stream, for a couple hours. Oh man,
yeah.
Shit, man.
I like if I were too skinny and needed to gain weight, I don't think that would be a problem. But I guess it is for some people. Some people just have trouble gaining.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like, I would just. Do you have a big appetite? How many hamburgers could you eat?
I can eat. If you give me right now a plate to eat, I can eat about 4 pounds of food easy.
Oh,
I don't know what that is,
I can't put that's too much for me.
Let me just say, I'm going to give you an endless stream of McDonald's cheeseburgers. Everybody knows how big those are. How many before you're done? How many could you force yourself to eat?
Probably like 3 or 4.
You could do 3 or 4? That's pretty good. That's what I could do.
Down 3. I can probably get down 3 if I force myself. And no fries.
I could get 6 down. No, seriously. I could do 6. Are you kidding me? If I was hungry, could you, like those McDonald's cheeseburgers, I could eat 6 of those.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you talk about just the regular, one meat, 1 slice of cheese, and 2 buns, yeah, that I can do 6. But you're talking about like the double quarter? Is it a quarter pounder?
No. That I might be able to do two double quarter pounders if I'm hungry and then I'm sick afterwards. But the McDonald's cheeseburgers are real small. I could do 6 of those.
Yeah, I can do that. I can eat a whole 20 sliders from White Castle.
Oh, man, I'd tear them joints up. I love sliders, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now I need sliders.
So if you ate 6 hamburgers from McDonald's, what? Nothing would happen?
Nothing. I'll just be all right, and then I'll probably eat again later on.
How the hell do you not gain weight?
Yeah. I read something about, having like I guess my metabolism is too fast, and I'm supposed to eat high caloric, calories or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I start doing. And then it said something about drinking, like, I guess, weight proteins and stuff like
Guys, I don't eat at McDonald's. The chat is going, don't eat at McDonald's. I don't eat at McDonald's.
that.
I don't. You guys would be impressed with. I eat good stuff. I just eat a lot of it. Andrea will make me a steak, a big steak, and I'm like, yeah, definitely, thank you. And I'll eat that. I'll have a beer, and and then don't even. She says you're scaring me with it. You'll go and get a pie, and then it's gone. Like the next day, the pie
Right.
is gone. I'm like, yeah.
Well, what's the biggest steak you'll eat, like, in size?
Well, I'll always order the biggest steak I can get.
Oh wow.
Same here.
James Dean, creator of Conflict, says, go back to Conflict because I'm hungry. Want burgers. Yeah, James Dean, we got to get you on here. Somebody made a video about me. And this video was a couple, I think they're British and they're fans, but I watched it today because somebody said, you got to look at this and review it. And I watched this video, and it puts me in an awkward spot because it's like I would have them on, but if to explain to them exactly where I think their thinking goes astray, but that would probably hurt their chances. Like, I don't want to do negative advertising for them,
Right.
but they made this video and they're just like, we think Ethan is purposely ignoring us. And
Yeah.
oh my God. I was just like, and then they said that, like, I think they took things personally. Like, they're like, we tried to donate, we tried to buy Cyberfrog, but it didn't show up on our credit card statement. So Ethan rejected our, why would Ethan, it's money is money. Like that. I'm like, I would never, I don't know who, like, I want to just, here's what I want to say, because I don't want to point them out and say, but I do want to say one thing about this. First of all, I don't know who anyone is. So, it's like, I honestly, I must be dealing with about 100 different people trying to pitch me their Indiegogo and Kickstarter campaigns right now that I don't know.
Which,
That
by
I
the
don't
way,
know.
Ethan, I have a book that I'm working on right now called Brand. It's on
Yeah.
Indiegogo. I don't know if you would be nice enough to have me on.
Well, I did. You are on.
Oh,
and that, and
yeah.
the
Oh,
reason-
never mind then. Never mind. I appreciate
You're
it. Thank you.
you're doing just fine. But I mean, no. It's like I know how it must feel. Like, I empathize. I know how it must feel because there are people who are like, well, he won't have me. Therefore, Comicsgate has a gatekeeper. All right, look. I am not Comicsgate. Like, this show isn't Comicsgate. I mean, I am Comicsgate, and so are you. But I mean, this show isn't Comicsgate. Comicsgate is show business. It's just show business. Everything from puppet shows to major motion pictures is show business. Comicsgate is show business. This is like the Johnny Carson show or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'll bring you on if you're funny and you're going to get some promotion. People who are better guests than others will get on more often. And I mean, I feel you working away, and you've got an act, and you're doing it in clubs, and you're like, why aren't I on the Johnny Carson show? For a bunch of different reasons, I guess. I don't know, but it's not personal. It's not like I'm looking at you and saying I'm ignoring. I'm ignoring 100 different people because I can't. I can't just have everyone on this show all the time. It would be chaos.
Right.
It would be absolute chaos. So I don't want anyone to take it personally. And the other thing is, it's everyone's job. Like, if you want to be a comic skater who actually produces work, Comicsgate is mostly kind of, the fans and the customers. But if you want to be somebody who wants to sell a comic book to Comicsgate, you have an obligation, and that obligation is to find and build your own audience. You have to do that. You can't just expect to piggyback off of like John Malin or Mike S. Miller or Edwin or me, or well, not Zach, because Zach doesn't even get involved with this. But you can't expect that to happen. You've got to get out there and build your own audience. You know, that's key.
That was one of the first things you said to me, man. Like, you had me on that first time. You was like, "Hey, if it didn't work out, you wouldn't be back on." But you told me, you was like, "Hey, you know, build your channel and just keep creating stuff, because then when you come on my channel, it enhances what you're already doing." And
Yeah, like
I
to
never
me,
forgot it.
yeah, to me, like my thing is this: I'm not here to build your brand, so to speak. You know, like that's not my job. My job isn't to help you build anything. Like, you know, if you are special in some way, that you've got a YouTube channel and you can, you know, you can draw an audience, you're funny, you're interesting, or you're just a really, really good artist. Any of these things, having you on my show helps me, and not financially. I don't make any money off of this yet. I would love to. I think I'm not going to make any money off of this until I figure out a way to build my own, you know, Indiegogo style crowdfunding platform. Then I can start making money by having people on.
Right.
But this doesn't benefit me at all. It's just, you know, it's just people to talk to, essentially. So if you are funny, if you can draw a crowd, if you can do this kind of, if you're a character like Nasser is, like Nurkish or Cecil or Doug, these guys are colorful, exciting, interesting characters that when they come on the show, they help the show. It's like, I'm not here to help you. You're supposed to be here to help me. You know, that's the whole thing. I'm putting on a show. So if your whole thing is just, when is it my turn? Your turn is never. You've got to make things happen for yourself. You've got to just kind of get out there and do your YouTube, do your social media, promote yourself. And the fact that you've started an Indiegogo campaign and you don't have a platform yet, and you're relying on mine is not smart. That's not smart. I don't know you.
No,
I don't know who you are.
that's why I'm out here grinding, man. That's why I'm trying to, you know, that's what I was talking about, where, you know, we're taking, you know, the Sexy Party podcast, we're syndicating it now. We're getting it out there. We got it on Spotify now. We've got it on SoundCloud. It's submitted to iTunes. So I'm just waiting on them to approve that. We're expanding what, you know, what we started on YouTube, and trying to grow it and take it in other directions and build on that. So that's what I'm trying to do, you know. And that was something, like I said, you kind of lit a fire under me, and I just ran with it, and I just kept going. So
right. James Dean, creator of Conflict, says, I just spent $6 for 3 separate ads on Conflict. Hello, yeah, like that's kind of, you know, James Dean. Again, I'm not saying everybody has to super chat me their thing, but I mean, it's like it whatever gets attention. How many more times am I going to mention James Dean, creator of Conflict, on Indiegogo? Many, many, many times. He keeps super chatting me. Eventually, I'm going to say, yeah, come on. Let me see what you're doing.
Yeah, I spent months on the chat talking to everybody, you know, on Tug's stream, on your stream, just getting to know the whole entire crowd, networking with everybody, because I know networking is a huge thing.
Bagel Goose says, Doug's interesting. Did you get a new Doug? Doug is interesting. He doesn't wash his hands, you know. It's interesting. Yeah, so you know, I don't know, guys.
Yeah.
You know, what is my obligation? It's like either have everyone on or nobody on, I guess.
Well, that's
like
the thing. I mean, it's your channel, right? It's your show. You're not obligated to nobody. You know, everybody got to pave their own way. I mean, look at Mike.
But it's
Mike
easy for you guys to say that because you're like Critias, you're a regular. So it's easy for you to say that. Like it's easy for Antonio to say that because he's already, you know, where they want to be. So, you know, what is the standard? Radioactive.
Yeah, I was in the other position though, and I don't. Trust me, I remember the other position.
Yeah, I
remember
being in the crowd and just wanted to get on your show. I remember trying to DM you, you know, and just trying to get to know everybody in the crowd because I knew my campaign is gonna come out. I'm like, well, I don't have nobody to back me up on this. I don't got a YouTube channel, so I just network with everybody in the chat. You know, I let everybody know who I was, and I got to know them. And when I released it, you know, I did pretty decent. And then when I finally got through you, that's when, you know, I saw a big difference on the jump. You know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just, you know, to me, it's like, all right, so what do I get out of this? I get super chats. You know, people super chat me. That definitely pays for my time to do this, and I appreciate super chats. But really, it's promoting this idea, I guess, promoting this idea that I believe in, and then also kind of getting ready, getting people to anticipate. This is the thing. What this channel is doing is preparing people for Rainbow Brute and preparing people for Cyberfrog 2. It's like that. All of this is just to kind of build anticipation for my next campaign.
Right.
All of that.
And if I could say something else also is remember you have brought guests on here that have personally, I say disrespect you, I guess, publicly. So that's a big risk every time you bring somebody new on here,
Yeah, well, they're allowed to do that. Lex Ruthless says, sorry, Ethan, not every country in the world had slaves. That is incorrect. Yeah, that's definitely incorrect. Did I say that? Or did I just say everyone had slaves, which is more of a broad kind of
Just kind of made a broad statement. Yeah, you weren't specifically going in Tasmania. They had slaves.
Yeah. But to clarify, that's correct. Yeah, not every country in the world had slaves. That's right. I'm only obligated to have Cecil on, says VLNed. Well, I get Cecil on every time. Cecil's getting harder and harder to get on as these guys. And by the way, that's a good thing. It's like, as Cecil and Nurkish build their own platforms, they no longer have time. They're busy promoting themselves on their own channels. My God, Yellow Flash has 22,000 subscribers on his own channel. The Umbrella Guy just flipped over to 10,000. This is hard work. I started this 1 year ago this week. I've been on YouTube for 1 year.
Wow.
And every single day I did a live stream or a video. Every single day, did not miss. Some of my videos were better than others, but I always made sure I had something up, and it was hard work. It's called building a platform.
You know what brought me back to your YouTube channel constantly is when you would start the video and you'll read like a quick little headline and you go, what the f? And that used to just catch me. I used to love that.
And then it lead right into the started this gangster. Yeah. That was fun. Ethan, please review more movies. Darth Hamer says, yeah, I will. I'm gonna go see. Here's the thing, guys. It's hard to go to the movies because I can't go. We don't have a babysitter. And Andrea and I can't go together, and therefore, and by the way, Andrea does not want to see the movies I want to see. She doesn't want to see Halloween. I would say, do you want to go? Even if we had a babysitter, you want to go see Halloween with me? She'd say, no. Could we go see Lady Gaga? And by the way, I would just be like, yeah, we'll go see Lady Gaga. That's fine. I would always just do whatever she wanted to do. But I mean, I'm going to go see Halloween. I will review it. I'm going to do it. Maybe I can catch a 5 o'clock showing of it or something like that. And just, it seems like a good idea to do videos. Something looks weird about Michael Myers' face there, they're saying. He still looks like William Shatner.
They said that they made the mask look more aged. That's what they were trying to do.
Like like the rubber is rotting?
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
It's getting old.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna definitely go see that. But anyway, so just in a roundabout way, yeah, that video kind of bothered me because I was just like, I understand what it must feel like. You must feel left out, like this is a club, but it kind of is a club. Like these are people that I'm choosing to have on my YouTube channel. It's not Comicsgate. You've got to just I've made Comicsgate. This is my Comicsgate. You've got to make Comicsgate your Comicsgate. I'm not managing it. And by the way, I get this thing where people are just like, stop thinking that you're the leader of Comicsgate, and then they say, why aren't you leading Comicsgate? So it's one of the two things. I'm perfectly happy doing what I'm doing, which is just leading Cyberfrog, leading Comic Artist Pro Secrets, and Comicsgate Live. That's just what I do. I don't know. I don't know, Antonio. I get frustrated.
I hear you.
But I guess it's that you can't make everyone happy, can you?
It was like, like I said, when, we tried so many things, obviously, having Kanan draw you as the Orange Lantern and doing all the little things that we were trying to get your attention, and you like tweeted it out, and then it just flamed out, and it was like, oh, okay, I gotta keep trying. Super chat. Okay, well, keep trying. It just kept trying, and I just didn't give up.
Yeah,
that's the thing. So obviously, it worked out in my favor, but
I can't explain it to you. Like I said, I can't tell you why. It just happened. It wasn't anything that you did. It was that I do a name search for me. Not as much as I used to, but I did today, and that's why I found this one video. Actually, I found another video too that was really cool. Like it was just like it was a criticism of me. It was Ethan Van Sciver, a critique, and I watched it, and then the guy had 4 views on the video. And I just went, "Here's your 5th view, and I've subscribed to your channel now." I like the idea of me receiving a critique, and it was a thoughtful critique. So, he said, "Stop playing piano."
Oh,
God. That was one of the don't play piano anymore. Well, I mean, I haven't played piano in a while, but okay. I'm probably going to have to. Like, that just reminds me that I haven't played piano in a while. So I'm going to have to, do piano. I went downstairs. My wife was just like, you don't play the piano upstairs very often. So I played the rickety old piano from the 1930s that we bought upstairs for a little while. I played New York, New York by Frank Sinatra. It sucked. Horrible at that song. Yeah. People are saying, please stop playing piano. Yeah.
No, I think piano.
No, Dark Hammer saying no, play piano more.
The old style video used to be just kind of like we talk, and then I take the camera over to the piano, and then and it would be funny because I'd have 1,400 people, and then I'd start playing piano, and I'd look again, it'd be like 800 people left.
Oh yeah.
I feel like people are leaving, but whoever stayed, the people who stayed liked it, All right, so look, I'm gonna go buy tickets to go see Halloween. Thank you, everyone. Let me just check and make sure I had my eyes closed. I wasn't really reading super chats. Let me double check this. Oh, I gotta finish this video. Tonka Saw and Kraut audio leak on Worski. Oh man, it looks like such fun. I just don't have time to listen to it, all of it. But yeah, Tonka. What'd you do?
When you got to the theater, just put it in the car on the speaker.
Yeah, well, it's 5 hours long. It's 5 hours long.
Oh.
Be careful what you say. I mean, people will, it's like, especially when you're being recorded, this is just whole audio leak of him scheming to destroy people or something. And it's,
oh shit.
Wow.
I mean, look, be careful. God damn. Fortunately, I don't talk about destroying people. I really don't. I don't care. Like, I want everyone to, even the people I don't like, I want them to succeed as long as what they're succeeding at isn't hurting me,
Right.
I don't want anyone to be destroyed. Wait, let me think about that. No, I mean, even the people that I really dislike, like, who popped into my head? Tim Doyle. And I was like, do I want Tim Doyle to suffer? Because I mean, he made it his personal business to give me a hard time for like a year. Do I want? No, I don't. I just don't want him to bother me anymore. Like, don't bother me, but I mean, succeed at your poster business. I wish you luck. Just stop being a dick.
I need a shirt that says that.
Stop being a dick and succeed. But even the people I dislike the most, like him, I dislike him. He's a despicable human being. But I don't want anyone to lose their livelihood. And not even Chuck Wendig. Chuck Wendig just needed to lose his job at Marvel, but he, I wish him luck, and I hope he learned a lesson from it. Bagel Goose says no Cecil, gay. Let's see. Johan Ruinson Soy the 8th says, for Halloween chills, watch Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Ugh. Let's see. Did I read them all? That's interesting. Oh, Hugh Jass says we haven't heard the Titanic flute in some time. Yeah, I played the when I made a live stream about Chuck Wendig getting fired, I played the soy flute to the Star Wars theme, and people were really unnerved by it. People were like, "What is the meaning of that intro song?" I was like, "Oh, you don't get the flute yet." Okay, yeah, Titanic flute is funny. That is a funny meme. All right, guys, I'm gonna go see this movie. I think tonight I'll make a video review of it, and we'll see how my movie reviews go. That's a dangerous thing. I mean, Zach ventured into movie reviews, and they didn't go so well. However, my solo live stream movie review is still one of my most watched videos ever. That did really, really great. That did great. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do a live stream. Maybe tonight I'll do a live stream Halloween review, and I'll tell you guys if it was good or not.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. By the way, thank you, Critias. Critias has a book called Detective Dead on Indiegogo. It's really, really good. It's doing good. Where's it at right now, anyway?
I think it's 25,280.
Nice.
Yeah.
I knew it. We got it over 25,000.
Yeah,
That's
I appreciate
awesome.
that.
And then there's Antonio and Brand. You know, where's Brand at?
48,824. So less than less than
Nice.
1,300 away,
Wow.
or less than 1,200 away from cracking $50,000.
That is impressive. That is awesome, and I love that. I love that you're able to do that.
See, that's genuine. I was like, when you say that, there's a lot of people. There's some haters out there, man. When you be talking about that, you be talking some real stuff, man. You are genuinely happy for me,
right?
And there's some people that I thought would be happy for me that aren't happy for me.
Yeah, I
money
get what
does
you're
weird.
saying.
It is what it is.
Money does weird things to people, and you find that out.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're successful, money does weird things to people, and I'm talking about people who don't have money reacting to other people who are succeeding.
Oh yeah.
You get some very strange reaction, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it myself. Just people behaving in a very, very strange way, and all I can say to those people is, I did it. You can do it too. If you actually focus on it and make a plan, you can succeed at whatever you're trying to succeed at. But tearing other people down, doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Exactly.
Not for you.
Right. We got to build each other up.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Sketch Therapy says 6 figures for Mike, Uncle E. Remember Mike? He's almost there. Yeah, Sketch Therapy. Mike got over 98,000 last night, but that was because of me.
Nice. That's awesome.
He was like $90 away from 98, so I just gave him another $100. And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm over 98." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I better read and thank whoever did that." I was like, "No, you don't have to do that.
I heard that.
Don't do that. Let's just pretend it was somebody other than me." Yeah. So Zach has the worst taste in the movies, says VLNet. I agree with that. I feel like I have good taste in movies, but some people disagree. I think that, there are a lot of sacred cow movies, like again, we talk about the original Halloween. I'm like, it's not that good, guys. It's just not that good. And I got to be honest about that. But I'm going to go see this movie tonight or right now, and I'll just let you guys know tonight what I thought.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.